Good morning.
Whoa!
We had a little bit of technical difficulties this
That was
morning
painful.
getting on for our live. Drew has a gazillion passwords that he can't remember any of.
I remember all of them.
He just doesn't know which password goes with what account. Very important.
It's my computer. It just forgot.
His computer forgot his password.
The computer forgot. And so I was trying to change passwords. We used Ecamm Live. This is our program to go live on Dorothy's Facebook page.
Speed oiling we did the other night.
So I logged out, which I never do. And then I couldn't log back in. So it was
really my fault?
painful. It's actually all Dorothy's fault. Is what I'm getting at here.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate passwords for a minute.
I don't get it.
I'm just always telling Drew he needs the same password for everything because he can't remember any of them.
Well, I can remember some of them.
He remembers the passwords. He just doesn't know which password goes with what account.
Yeah, but Dorothy doesn't understand. Dorothy lives in like this little, real sheltered world where she doesn't think people like do bad things. So if someone like hacks into one of your accounts and use the same password for everything, then they have your bank account, they have all your social medias, they have your websites. So Dorothy's like, why don't you just have the same for everything?
I've had the same password since high school.
For
and
what,
nothing bad has ever happened to me.
For what?
Everything!
You don't have everything. You've got like an email and a Facebook account. That's all you have.
No? I got lots of things, thanks. Seriously, though, I've had the same password since high school. And same for everything, never any issues.
Well,
I think it's a little paranoia.
It's not. It's being prepared. Who's watching? Is anyone here?
I understand.
Am I here by myself listening to this?
I understand you want to be Mr. Safety.
I'm not Mr. Safety. I just want to pay attention to what's going on in the world. In the world today.
In the world. The big bad world.
Let's go live on Instagram. We haven't done Instagram for a couple weeks. If
you're watching here on Facebook, let us know. We see there's a few people watching.
There's no one watching now.
Oh, where did everybody go?
Is it not a Good Friday?
It's not Good Friday.
Not Good Friday.
Easter.
Not a Good Friday. Today we're going to talk about igniting your fire within.
It sounds so funny, doesn't it? Ignite. Come on, baby, ignite your fire. It's not really the word.
Come on, baby, move on. What's that?
I don't know that one. But I was just saying that's not really the words. I just kind of made them up. Come on, baby.
What's up, Elevate Yoga?
Fire. Woo!
I think that's Lacey. Is that you, Lacey?
Oh.
Thanks for tuning in. How are classes going? At the Shine Studio.
Ooh. Shine.
You were talking about what we're talking about, then you stopped.
I said the title. That we're going to talk about igniting your fire within. So the importance of trying new things, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and just keeping things new and fresh and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Drew. This is Drew's idea for a topic. If you don't like it, give him a thumbs down.
Excuse me. Don't encourage thumbs down. I feel like I should share this show.
We do encourage the thumbs ups and hearts. So throughout the show, if you like what you're hearing, throw us some hearts, give us some thumbs up. Those always help out.
Let us know if you're watching the replay, because it doesn't seem like a whole lot of people are watching the live. Maybe I should post this to different groups. Hmm?
Sure.
Okay, so do you want to start off with would you like to start off while I'm doing some sharing?
It was kind of your topic, so I feel like you should start off.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what you've started
I'll do some sharing.
That's dangerous.
Oh, why?
Okay, you do the sharing.
You want to switch seats and everything?
No.
No?
Oh, is that what your idea was?
You're always on that side, I'm always on this side.
Like
We're talking about changing and keeping things fresh and new, and maybe you should switch sides because you always want to be on that side.
This is my better side.
Drew's always like, switch sides with me, and I'm like, what's it matter what side you're on? It matters to him.
Not now.
What do you mean not now?
It doesn't matter now because I always sit here. You don't bother me.
And I don't bother you.
Yeah. Just let me sit here and don't bother me.
Don't bother me. But when we first started doing videos, Drew always had to be on the same side every time.
I like this side.
So I would go sit on the opposite side, and then he would get upset.
I would say,
that's my side.
Why aren't you on my side again?
It's not your side.
It is my side. Because I'm always on this side.
I don't get it, because it really doesn't matter to me if I'm on the right side or the left side. It doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh. Tell us what you've done new recently.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to know in my personal life, or do you want to know in my business world, or do you want to know?
I don't care.
Let's start off with exercise routine. Is that okay if we start there? Workouts?
We can start wherever you want.
Okay. There's so many benefits to switching things up and keeping things fresh and new, because when we talk specifically about workout routines in particular, if we do the same workout over and over, the same class over and over and over and over again for months or weeks or years, then first of all, our bodies become used to that, right? So results are going to be a lot harder if we don't keep it fresh, keep it new, keep our body guessing and testing what's next, because they just become complacent. But today we wanted to talk more about the mind and how it's important.
The what?
The mind. Halloween sound effects.
Today, it didn't really sound like Halloween. Halloween's like...
That's Halloween. That's Halloween sound effect.
Oh my gosh.
But it's important to keep switching things up and keeping it new so you don't get bored, right? And you don't get complacent yourself. So, for example, I've been running for quite some time, quite a few years now, and although I'm not gonna stop running, it's important to have a goal, have new goals, and create new opportunities. But one thing that I have done that's new.
Oh my gosh!
Is
I didn't hear you.
One thing that I started that is new.
Okay.
Is I started swimming. So this creates a certain amount of new excitement, some new fears, some new challenges to get over, and I think that's such a good thing. It's good to be a little scared sometimes, or step outside your comfort zone and do something that you're not always used to doing. So swimming for me was something that I always wanted to do, but I always held back because I was too scared to do it. But since starting, it just empowers you and makes you feel stronger and makes you feel excited that you're actually doing something new.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that too. Like I don't know, like new things excite me.
Yes.
And I think that if it doesn't excite you, then you haven't tried new things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get a chance to learn something new, you get a chance to experience something new. And when you're experiencing something, all kinds of different sensations, like you see different things, you hear different things, you have a different perspective. So I feel like it just wakes you up and makes you feel alive when you're learning and trying different things.
And we've all been there where we've done the same thing, like over and over and over and over again, because it's comfortable. We like comfort. Like, in general, as human beings, humans, we strive on things that are comfortable, and on routines and on things that are the same. But if it doesn't challenge us,
it doesn't change us.
What?
What's up, Jen?
We were like this on that one.
Jen says, "Morning, guys." Hey, Jen, did you try anything new? Do you guys like the D&D live banner at the bottom?
Oh, I asked you to put that on.
Or, well, yeah, but then they can't see our beautiful products.
And they can't see all of our dishes. I didn't know they could see.
What do you mean?
I had to rearrange it so it looks pretty now. Usually the banner's there so it hides all the mess, but Drew didn't tell me he wasn't putting a banner this morning.
Lacey said, well, we had our technological issues, and I didn't think that was a main concern.
Organization's very important.
Lacey says, nothing great comes from staying in your comfort zone.
That's right.
I
totally.
Agree. So do you guys like the banner at the bottom or not? Tell us now. What kind of oatmeal is it this morning? What's up, Vince?
Hey, Vince.
Vince is in a monthly membership group, and he is always posting inspiring messages and quotes in the morning. I look forward to it. I'm like, ooh, what does Vince have to say this morning?
What's Vince going to say this morning?
What kind of oatmeal do we have, Dorothy?
We have peach oatmeal. Usually it's peaches and cream, but we didn't have any yogurt this morning. So it's just peach oatmeal without the cream.
Are you sad?
I like my yogurt.
You sound very sad.
I like almond yogurt. We found out quite maybe a year or two or maybe more ago that I can't do dairy because I have really sensitive skin, and I just was breaking out. My skin was all bumpy all the time and red and sore. And so once we did we did a lot of things diet-wise. It was a strenuous process. But we found out that dairy was a trigger for me for my acne, also my digestion. So I guess I was like, I had quite a lot of problems, didn't I?
Well, we had some issues.
I had some issues, but we got it all fixed up. So we choose an almond-based yogurt alternative as opposed to dairy. So if you are experiencing some of those things yourself, some digestion problems or some skin irritations, I'm not saying dairy is your culprit, but I know that's mine. So it's something that you could try if that's something that's a problem for you.
I like it when you use the word culprit.
Is that a bad word?
I don't think it's a bad word.
Oh.
It's just that who uses culprit? Any of our watchers out there, does anyone use
Drew, what
culprit?
word would you use?
I don't know.
Trigger?
The enemy.
No,
I don't. That's fine. It's okay.
I like that word.
I just thought it was
and I'm
funny.
going to keep using it.
Culprit.
Too.
I think you should. Vince, have you tried anything new recently? And Jen? And anyone else watching?
Vince, have you started the Christmas countdown yet? Even better question.
Dorothy's mom has, Vince.
My mom has started the Christmas countdown, Vince.
She is trending on being a bigger Christmas fan than you, Vince. So,
but
the challenge is on.
I think in particular, she's very more excited this year's because she's going to see us. I use culprit all the time. Yeah, you see? Because Jen and I like this.
Jen, you're just saying that. Time out! First time out. Can you tell me, Jen, can you use it in a sentence?
It's not a spelling bee.
I didn't ask her to spell it. I asked her to use it in a sentence.
I know, but you say that in a spelling bee.
What? Oh, use it in a sentence?
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
What is the origin?
Oh, dear. Oh.
All right. So, okay, starting new things. I just think for me, I look forward to it. And I think that other people would look forward to new things too if they tried new things more often. So, it says, that begins now.
Game on.
Let's see what you got.
How many days, Vince? I don't know. How many days?
Ask your mom would know.
My mom would know, yes.
Okay, so for example, I always wanted to try skateboarding. And I guess it's not exciting to a lot of people. I actually think there's like a stigma against skateboarding, which is kind of funny. Like, they're like, oh, skateboarders are causing trouble. And like, there's like signs up in certain areas where like, no skateboarding. And we can understand that in certain levels. Like if you're hanging around drinking and smoking and making a mess or, I can understand that. But like take all that stuff aside and like skateboarding in general is kind of cool. Like you're on a boat, like you're basically on a piece of wood with wheels. And you have to like balance yourself. So, I didn't say wood.
That's a good story, Grandpa.
I'm talking here. It's my turn.
Okay, you go.
You talk.
I did talk, and I'm going to talk some more.
It's my turn now. So, at any rate, I just think it was cool. Like, I'm learning a new skill. I have to, like, pedal on one foot. I'm balancing. And then instead of we're used to riding our bike down the Strand. And now I'm skateboarding. So, it's a bit slower, but I notice like different bumps in the road or on the Strand. I notice like using different muscles or like balancing, for example, on one foot. And I like the slackline as well. So for me, like learning the new skill of skateboarding, it offers a lot of different benefits than being like, oh, this is just another form of transportation, which is another benefit as well. Now it's your turn to speak.
He told me not to speak, and now he says, speak! What?
When I'm in the store, when I'm talking in the story. Oh my gosh.
It's making me laugh. You know what is interesting is when you are changing and trying things new and stepping outside of your comfort zone, you learn so much about yourself. And for me, a lot of times, I don't realize the amount of strength or the amount of determination or will that I have until that I try something new. Because you don't, you learn so much about
yourself. Personally, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vince says, I have my Santa decorations up because there's 107 days. Chris, it's too early to talk about Christmas, Vince. We still have to do Halloween. And I think Halloween is like a close second or is like competing with Christmas for me. Like, I really love Halloween.
Drew loves Halloween.
So we have to talk about Halloween first, okay?
Drew's like, when can we get pumpkins? And I was like, how about let's wait till October so they don't rot?
Some people have Halloween decorations up already.
That's true.
And they have pumpkins here at the stores. So I'm like, maybe we should get some pumpkins.
You know what's really funny is that we drove by
Hey, Judy.
pumpkin patch yesterday.
We did.
And it was like, how can you describe how it was like? Like when we go to a pumpkin patch in Olds or around Calgary area, I suppose, it's like a farmer's field, right? And you go and you pick your pumpkin. But here it was like a parking lot with straw.
With a fence around it.
Fence.
Like a chain link fence around it.
It was like when we were getting a Christmas tree in New York, right?
They had the trees on the street. Like in New York, well, they don't have like space or room.
Yeah.
There isn't like a field or an open parking lot. So it was like, let's sell Christmas trees on the street corner.
Yeah.
And they're all super tiny.
Oh, they were so cute.
They're all like little baby Christmas trees.
Because everyone lives in apartments, right?
Yeah. so that was kind of funny. But when it comes to doing new things, I think there's so many benefits. So I feel like if we were all to try new things on a regular basis, we would find more benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, I'm starting a new podcast, and it's called Transformations Through Running, and I'm super excited about it. And I feel like you don't have to be a runner to listen to it, and I don't feel like I have to be an expert in running to be a host of it. But I'm taking this podcasting course, and I'm meeting new people and making new connections, and I'm so excited. Like, I've been hosting Exploring Mind and Body for 8 years. Like, that's a long time. We're on different radio stations, and sometimes we air at different times, and we have different guests. So, excuse me, I'm still doing that show, and it's still exciting on different levels. But to do a brand new show opens so many new doors and offers so many advantages. And there's new excitement, like, in my life. Like, I'm sure Dorothy could tell you, like, I'm like, oh, I got a new title, or I got a new guest, or I got a new idea.
It just increases your level of motivation, as like you were saying, because you're excited, it's new, you're meeting new people, and I think it's really important to continue to meet new people as well in different areas of your life and spend time with different people, and just, as you learn and grow, so does your environment.
Mm-hmm. And so does your business, and so does your friends and family. Like, if you're willing to put yourself out there and live outside your comfort zone a bit. But again, like going back to the new podcast, like I get a chance to find new ways to market. And like I said, find new ways to meet people. And then we're going to be on a different platform, and then using a different host or having a bit different website. Like, that's all. That might sound boring to you guys like that, but that's...
Ooh, just fell asleep right there.
But you are very challenging this morning.
Hello.
Try to be a little supportive. Can I have some support?
Try to be a little supportive. Oh, I made your tea.
Try to be a little supportive with my stories and doing new things. So that might not sound exciting to you guys, but that's why we say you have to find something that's
for you.
That's exciting and interesting for you, because you can find different ways to open new doors and new motivation and inspiration. And I think in many cases, like in Alberta, where a lot of our viewers are watching from, it's cold, or it's getting cold, and people are like get stuck in their ways during the cold winters, and then they stay inside and they don't struggle to find motivation or inspiration. So that's why we thought this would be a good topic to discuss, so we can give you some ideas on how to find inspiration going into the winter.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say that we weren't embracing winter. I don't know if we were so wonderful at that or are so wonderful at that, but there's so many things that you can do to enjoy winter and the snow. right? There's so many winter sports and activities, and I mean, as long as it's not -40 and your skin falls off. But there's so many different avenues that you can find or that you can do to, like Drew said, like get out of the house and do something new.
Vince says they have Christmas and where'd it go?
Halloween decorations at the dollar store. Oh, Drew.
We try to go to the thrift store first, but we might have to go to the dollar store. But there's lots of stuff
For
going
what?
on.
Our decorations?
Halloween stuff. Where are you? Welcome to the show.
You're getting Halloween stuff?
Well, you're talking about getting pumpkins.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get some pumpkins. Oh my gosh, you guys, we have to tell you this. So, there's a pumpkin race. Can we tell them about that?
Tell them.
So you carve your pumpkin, and then you go to the town, what do you call it, city hall or town hall, and then you say, I want to enter into the pumpkin race, and they give you like a wheel set, like it has wheels, and I don't know, I'm not a car person, so I don't know what that's called, but like, and then you attach the wheels onto your pumpkin, and then you get to race it down the hill.
So we're racing our pumpkin.
We're gonna race our pumpkin
this year. We missed it last year.
We were bummed.
We went back to Alberta, and we were very disappointed that we missed the
pumpkin race.
Jack-o'-lantern. Is it pumpkins or jack-o'-lanterns?
It's pumpkin. Well, it's a jack-o'-lantern, like you carve it.
Okay, so it's a jack-o'-lantern.
But it's not a jack-o'-lantern race, it's a pumpkin race.
You get a little food on your face.
I'll finish that up for you. Did I get it?
Get out of here. So it's a jack-o'-lantern race. This is the one on this side now. Yeah, and then some on your nose there. Yeah, right. Did you guys see that?
See what?
What did Vince says? I've taken on the duty of the wellness champion at our school.
That's awesome.
That is a great fit for you, Vince. What does that entail? Can you share that with us?
He said something about putting quotes. So I started with sharing positive quotes on the whiteboard in the main hallway. That's awesome.
Great idea. What's up, Darcy?
I couldn't think of anyone better for positive inspiration or positive quotes than Vince.
Me neither. Morning, guys. Hope you're enjoying the sun. It's snowing? Really?
No.
Is it snowing there? Tell the truth. It's snowing in Calgary. And what about in
Olds? Vince is in Olds. Jen's in Olds.
Ooh, what about Judy? Are you still watching? Someone's in here on Instagram. What is the weather like where you guys are at?
Snowing.
It's...
the weather is changing a little bit here too. And it is. It's not snowing. We did jump in the ocean yesterday.
Well, I just feel like when we're like, oh, the weather's changing and like it's getting a bit cooler, people are like, shut your mouth.
Oh, okay. So don't talk about it?
No. Because, I've been jumping in the ocean consistently for a couple weeks now around 6 p.m. Like, we had, longer work days, and we've been, getting a lot of stuff done. So I don't want to break that up with earlier in the summer, I was going in the afternoon. So I've been going kind of after work. And then it's getting a bit cooler, and the sun's going down a bit earlier. So I have to go earlier in the day, 4 instead of 6 to jump in the ocean. So I thought I'd share that because you're talking about the weather change.
Mm-hmm. And yesterday was a little bit cloudy. It was.
Where are you today?
It was a little cloudy, and this morning it's a little cloudy.
Yeah, but it's still
telling you, it's changing a
75
little bit.
degrees here. What is that, 20 degrees?
I don't know. I can do Fahrenheit and I can do Celsius, but I can't compare them together. You know what I mean? Like, I know that when we're here, like, it's hot when it's 80 to 85, and I know that it's going to be cool when it gets down to, 65, 60, 65. And I know cold, and, I know Celsius when what's cold and what's not. But I can't compare them to each other. Is that weird?
Yep, that's weird. Vince says it's just cold rain in Olds right now. We heard Darcy said it was snowing in Olds. What's going on? One of you is a bit off.
Snow in Cali, not the same kind of snow. Was there ever snow in California?
I don't know. I think it snowed in Vegas last year, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not California.
No, it's not. But it's the desert, and it's only 3 hours away.
That's not California.
Judy says it's snowing near Sundre. Ooh. I'm not even like ready to hear about. We're not there.
It won't stay.
No.
It'll go away, guys.
Yeah, it'll go away. And then there's like a snowfall. Or there's a snowfall like right around Halloween.
Last year.
In Old usually. In Alberta usually.
Oh, in Alberta usually, yeah.
But then it goes away for a bit and then it comes back.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So, Vince says snowflakes now.
Oh. Vince, are you at work writing your positive messages on the board?
Oh yeah, Vince says promote exercise and good nutrition.
Mm.
That's awesome. Let us know if we can help.
We could have a whole Horizon staff team. A little groupie.
A little groupie?
Of Horizon staff. Exercising, nutritionizing.
Have you guys done anything new lately? Darcy traveled to, I think traveling to new places is pretty cool.
Ooh, that's a good way to step outside your comfort zone. Mm-hmm.
Could you get new experiences traveling to different areas?
Yeah, and like I feel like whenever we go away and just like step outside of our world and go travel and we come back, we always come back with like new inspiration. Even when we were living in Olds and we went to the mountains for the weekend, for example, like went to Canmore, went to Banff or Kananaskis or whatever, we'd always come back with new motivation, new inspiration. And so even stepping outside of your normal day-to-day is nice as well. Very beneficial to do that as well. But I was thinking more about how traveling can change you, because with our experience of going to Sri Lanka in April, we came back and like we started changing a lot of things about our life. Mm-hmm. New.
Getting rid of stuff.
Yeah. We had two yard sales, and we made multiple trips to the thrift store. We had things going on the buy and sell.
We didn't go we made multiple trips to the thrift store daily for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how much stuff you accumulate?
Oh, it's nuts.
Like, if you were to go through your things right now, I bet 90% of people could, like, take, like, 10 trips to the thrift store.
Yeah.
Like, just go through your house and see what you've never used.
That's how we gauged it, because we knew that when we came back from Sri Lanka, we wanted to minimize. Because when you see people that have nothing, and we're not, we don't exaggerate when we say that, they had nothing, like just their basic needs were met, you want to live as simply as possible as well. You start to question and examine what's in your life just taking up space, I guess, is what we did when we got back. So that's kind of how that all happened for us.
I think if you remove things that you don't need from your life, you make room for things that you do need.
Right.
Like we're so bombarded with like things and clutter and things that like weigh us down. It's like your mind. Like a lot of times people like not interested in meditation or like breathing exercises, and that's something that we like to practice. Like that's something that is a part of our morning routine. But there's so many thoughts in our mind, and so that our mind is like continually like bombarded with information and messages and stimulation. And then if you take a few minutes to do some breathing exercise, let's remove. You know, it's funny. Like Buddhism, like real Buddhists don't believe that religion has a lot to do with Buddhism. It's the science of the mind. So I think that when I say remove religion, I only say that because of how it's perceived. So let's remove religion for a second. And if you were just to take breathing, to do some breathing exercises, you make space in your mind. So our mind is like full to capacity on most days. But if you take a few minutes for breathing exercises, and then you make space for the things that your mind could actually benefit from. And it's like your home. If you were to remove things that have never been used or you haven't used in months or years, then you have space. Then you bring in new energy, and new space could come in for things that are more beneficial to your life.
I like that. I like how you said you make space in your mind. And it's so true, because meditation helps you clear your mind and get rid of all of those things. I want to say what. Let's read what Darcy said.
Okay.
I want to see.
Could you take that battery out or unplug that?
Yes.
Please. Darcy said it was scary fun. Not sure what you're referring to, Darcy.
When you traveled.
Oh, was it scary? Okay, are you gonna read this? What about?
Woo!
See what you got, Darcy.
Doing the haiku stairs has changed me in the way that my sense of being invincible or level of bravery was downgraded. I mean, I realized there's not a lot between life and death when you are on a mountain 3,000 stairs up with no safety net with wind. Definitely a one and done event for me, like skydiving was. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I feel like in those situations it puts life into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe not specifically when you're hiking, or maybe possibly, but I think afterwards, and you consider what's important in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were in Sri Lanka, I could compare it to Sri Lanka. Like when we were in Sri Lanka, there was, I don't know if many of you know, but there was bombings, terrorist attacks while we were there. And if you want to take that to another level, like a frightening level, we were supposed to be at one of the places the bombs went off at.
We were scheduled, or we had a reservation for lunch at one of the hotels that had been bombed. It was crazy.
And so that changes your life on a deep level. So it wasn't, I think that had a lot to do with us changing our mindset a bit when we got back. Mm-hmm. Also seeing how people live, that's how we talked about. But I think that terrorism and realizing how real it is, in most cases in North America, we hear it on the news. Mm. And that's all we see. Most of us have never been near or close to an actual bomb going off, even though half the world deals with that on a regular basis. But then you realize what's important. So when we got back, we were our world was upside down in many different ways, but we looked at the things that were taking up space in our lives, and it wasn't memories and it wasn't feelings and emotions, it was things. And we're like, why are all these things taking up space in our lives? So then we just started getting rid of things. And if you get rid of things, you'll realize that it's addictive. You're like, oh, it feels good. You're like, oh, you get rid of a couple pieces of clothes in your closet. You don't feel like, oh, I miss them so much.
You don't even know they're gone.
You're like, oh, this is nice to have more space. So if you get rid of a few more things, you're like, oh, this is nice to have more space here. So you get rid of more things, and we got addicted to it.
And you know what? This is kind of a different topic, but another thing that bombards our brains every day is the amount of decisions that we have to make. And Drew and I get, because we run our own business, but I'm sure in your careers as well, or if you own a business, you have lots of decisions to make, or moms or parents have to make so many decisions. But it's exhausting making so many decisions. Sometimes at the end of the day, I don't even know for what I want to eat or what I want to drink, because I just don't want to make any more decisions. So when Drew was saying about taking things out of or getting rid of a piece of clothing, or donating clothes, or downsizing your closet, for me, it has made my life so much easier, because I don't have to spend time deciding what to wear. I have 3 or 4 t-shirts. I don't have to spend so much time looking in my closet and deciding what I wear. And honestly, when I had 2 closets full of clothes, it would be in the morning a big thing. For me, Drew, what do I wear? What do I wear? What do I wear to work? Oh my gosh, it would be this huge decision. And I've completely removed that, because it's the black t-shirt or the gray t-shirt. So simple.
Okay.
And one more thing. And I think not just in your closet, but there's decisions around your house with having so many things. For example, we had 3 teapots. So you go to make a tea. What teapot do I use? Well, now we have 1. There's no decision to make. You have 1 teapot. Mm-hmm. So by downsizing your things, you're downsizing the amount of decisions you make in the day, and therefore clearing out and making space in your mind for other things.
Mm-hmm. And I think, we had 3 vases and 2 teapots, and then you realize you have a favorite one and you never use the other one. Mm-hmm. So it was just a waste of space. Why is that sitting there? Just to fill space.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. So But I did, like, to be fair to most of the working force. Did I say working force? Working class? Working class. We wear almost the same clothes. Like,
Every day.
we both have like 3 different pairs of t-shirts and shorts. Like, that's okay. But we work from home, and I mean, like, if you were to go to school as a teacher and you wore the same clothes every day, people would probably think you might.
Well, maybe a little stinky.
But so, to be fair to you guys, are those that have jobs where you need to, like, maybe present yourself a bit differently. But I think those are great points. Like, if you have, like, there's a number of, I think Einstein was one of them who had very few clothing. I know Steve Jobs had a whole closet full of blue jeans and black turtlenecks. And he did that specifically on purpose because did what you were talking about. He didn't want one more decision in the day.
It's overwhelming.
To
Sorry.
Sometimes it's challenging to talk while you're talking.
I was doing the sound effects. I wasn't talking.
So
Steve Jobs had blue
jeans,
jeans, black turtlenecks because he didn't want to make more decisions.
Yeah, so he didn't want to make one more decision in his day. And then I was reading another guy, Ramit. He's a finance guy, like a big name finance guy. And he talks about having very similar meals throughout the week. So, like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the same dinners. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is the same breakfast. So, again, he goes back to, like, we only have so many decisions we can make in a day. That's just how it is. Like, we've all been decision exhausted before. And we're like, I can't make one more decision. So if you were to simplify your life a bit, whether it's clothing or nutrition or your workouts, like, this is where I'm going, or these are the workouts I'm doing, at least for this week. Then you can take one decision away from your day and life, and then you would, I think, again, have more room or more space for more important things.
It's made a lot of difference for us when we started doing that. Monday is the stir-fry night. Tuesday is our lentils and kale night, and then Thursday we have Wednesday burrito bowls. Like, and then you have a schedule. Yeah, one less decision. I don't have to open the fridge and be like, oh my gosh, what are we having? It's Wednesday. We're having burrito bowls. Done. I love it.
Yeah, and then you don't worry, like, what are we having? Then you eliminate the conversation. Like, what are we having? Did you go to the grocery store? Do we have that stuff in the food? Like, it's all gone. Like, that's removed from your life. It's like, oh, like, and then you decide are you making this tonight? I usually make the Kentels and Lail.
The Kentels and Lail.
Okay, have some Kentels and Lail in your life.
That's something I would do. I'm a little bit, what do you call it? Dyslexic, so I mix things up. But anyway, go.
So then decide who's making it. I usually make the lentils and kale. Dorothy usually makes the burrito bowl. So there's no decisions there. It's like, oh, what time are you making that at? Usually it's at the same time because we go to bed early because we get up at 4 a.m. Okay, let's read some comments here. Fran says, separate the wheat from the chaff, like in farming. Weeding. Let the good things grow. Oh, I love it.
Right.
Put on a t-shirt.
Put on a t-shirt.
And then Darcy says, I bet Drew likes that. And he put that up when we were referring to comments of, like, what clothing you're wearing before going to work. I do like that, Darcy. Thank you. And then Darcy says, the prep time going out down to 15 minutes? Perfect.
The prep time to going out down to 15 minutes. Perfect. I think he meant he got his prep time down to 15 minutes.
Oh. Okay.
Like before he leaves to go to the house?
It was a question.
Oh.
It was a question.
Darcy helps out.
The prep time going out down to 15 minutes. Well, I guess if you already know what you're wearing, then the prep time is gone.
You know what's funny, too? I just thought this about prep time and getting ready to leave the house and making less decisions. But I know this would be difficult for a lot of people, and it was hard for me at the beginning, but that's one of the reasons that I decided quite a couple of years ago that I don't want to wear makeup anymore. Because it took more time in my morning routine to put makeup on, like one more step. So 5 minutes, let's say, or 10 minutes in my morning routine, and I wanted to incorporate some of our other things like meditation and stretching and reading and journaling into my morning routine, but I was feeling short on time. So when I looked at all of the things I was doing in the morning, I thought, well, what could I remove? And I decided that was my thing I wanted to remove, to put something else in, like to add something in, like meditation and stretching. But also there was more to it than that for me, as well as because of my skin issues.
Well, because of the toxins in a lot of makeup products.
Right. So I guess there was more to it than removing makeup from my life than just that. But if you look at all of the things that you're doing in the morning, and a lot of times we hear all the time, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time.
Morning routine.
I don't have time. But look at all, really do, write it down and make a list of what you do in the morning, and maybe you can cut something out to allow for something new to come in.
Okay, I gotta cut this real quick. We'll be right back, Instagrammers. Stay right there, Facebookers. Can you read Darcy's comment there?
Darcy said, I meant you only waiting for Dorothy to get ready to go out. That's right.
I'm actually pretty fortunate. Dorothy is not like a 2-hour getting ready type of person. I've had that happen in my life at different times, and it's very frustrating. So Dorothy's pretty fortunate. Dorothy can get ready quicker than me sometimes.
Yes.
I know what you're saying, though, Darcy. We're on the same page.
There's one more thing.
Oh, this one here?
In my experience, 45 minutes I've had to wait for my significant other.
It's true. It's true. Sometimes Dorothy's actually waiting for me. Not like I'm doing anything, like getting makeup on and stuff, but I'm like in the middle of
putting his nail polish on.
I'm like doing something, and Dorothy's like, "Okay, time to go." And I'm like, "I'm doing something." So yeah, I think 45 minutes could be short on the short end.
For some people?
Yeah, some people it could be closer to like an hour. You want to mention anyone in your family?
My mother. Oh my gosh. Takes forever. I'm always like, Dad, what's she doing in there? And of course, they've been married for, oh my gosh, you guys. I think it's their 50th coming up. 50 years that they've been married. And I just keep thinking,
hey,
oh my gosh, he's been waiting for her for 50 years.
To get out of the bathroom.
How many days is 50 years? But I don't know. But every day he's waiting for her. Oh.
It's so different. Like, New Brunswick is such a different experience. And like I feel like I have to it's like a whole different mindset. Because I guess when you go somewhere, like, you're waiting for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not used to like we're used to like the two of us and just leaving and going. But in New Brunswick, you kind of like have to wait for other people because there's usually like a group going.
Well, we're with family, right?
Yeah, families goes everywhere in New Brunswick. And then, so Michelle, how's your course going?
Hey, Michelle.
Are you supposed to be at your course? Oh no, it's this weekend. Sorry. But then like in New Brunswick, they have like a 40-minute delay on everything. So it's like no one's in a rush. So you have like, hey, do you want to leave at 8:30? Okay, so you have like at least a 40-minute window of like
when you're actually gonna leave.
Yeah, are we gonna leave at that time?
Time doesn't really matter, or like
time doesn't matter at all.
You say, okay, let's leave at 8:30, and then at 8:25, my brother starts making eggs. Maybe it's not New Brunswick. Maybe it's just my family.
No,
it's just a suggestion.
No, it's New Brunswick. It's like, so when we go to the grocery store, people like there'll be like groups of people just like standing, like hanging out and like talking, and they're like in the middle of the aisle, and I'm like trying to get around them, or they'll be like taking up the whole like produce aisle, and the produce aisles are wider, longer, and you can't get around them. Like, don't you people have anywhere to be?
That's why it takes my parents like 2 hours to get groceries. Okay, going to town for groceries, and then 2 hours later they come back. They're talking to everybody.
What's up, Chris?
It's like an event.
It is like an event, but I think it's an East Coast thing because I'm like, I really had a really hard time doing business on the East Coast, so of East Coast of Canada. So because I was like trying to do business with people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll get back to you tomorrow," and tomorrow was like 3 weeks later. But it wasn't that they forgot about it; they were just like, "Yeah, I'll get to that." Or you're like, "Oh, can we set a meeting up? I'd like to come in." Sure, come in next week. When next week? Oh, whenever. Next week. Or they're like, come in the afternoon. I'm like, well, what time in the afternoon? They're like, I should be in all afternoon. So then
or between 1 and 4.
So you show up in the afternoon, but they're talking to 3 other people.
So you don't really have an appointment.
So I was like, I can't handle it. I couldn't handle it.
But it's funny because that's just how it is. Like,
you can't do anything about it.
For me, I was like, what? What do you mean? This is how it is.
It's so funny though, but I have to change my mindset when I go there because maybe I'm still like this, but when I first started going there, I was like, why is no one in a hurry to do anything?
No, but that's one of the things I love about like the East Coast and East Coasters is that they're not in a hurry, so they take a lot of time to appreciate, and you know what I mean. What I'm saying, like. A lot of times, if you're always on the go and always fast paced, you miss out on some things.
It's true. Like it'd be a good place to retire, or a good place to like go on vacation and not do anything, like a real vacation. Like when we go on vacation, we still work. We work all the time. So if I were to go somewhere and like be able to not work for like a week.
That's a stretch for Drew.
Yeah, it'd be a long time.
A day is hard enough to get Drew to take a day.
Okay, if I was to do,
he's like, okay, let's not talk about that.
No, you're right. But if I was to take like 2 or 3 days off,
whoa, he's getting crazy now.
And do no work, I would go to New Brunswick because there'd be no issues. Like everyone else is like, do. If I get to work, I get to work. If I don't,
that's how my mom is.
If I don't get to work on time, nobody really cares. I wish there were some people in New Brunswick that could like chime in, like a bunch of people like Marcel and Lindsay and maybe your parents would like to comment on some of these perceptions. That'd be funny. Michelle says, good morning, you too. All right, so I think we should probably wrap things up.
Wrap it up?
Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, our main topic today, besides our randomness, is trying new things. So Dorothy talked about running a bit, and she talked about swimming, a couple new things.
Yeah. I didn't really talk about too much about other things that I changed, but I guess we're wrapping it up.
Well, we don't have to. I don't have anywhere to be.
Well,
what else would you like to talk about?
I was just thinking... Thank you, Drew, for having me on. I was just thinking how it's important to switch up... Like, I don't know how you say it. Like,
morning, John.
Like, your work world as well. And I know certain people are in a position where they don't want to. Like, they love what they do, and it's their dream, and... they want to stay there, and that's fine if you truly are loving what you do. But I think a lot of times you get super complacent in a career or in your job, even if it's something that isn't serving you with happiness anymore. But we are so comfortable that it's hard to leave, right? Because that's what I experienced when I left my teaching career. Was that, the hardest part, most challenging part of leaving was because it was so comfortable. You know what I mean? And it's everything that I knew. But I knew that it was like my happiness factor, my stress levels was being affected. So that's kind of why I took the leap to do something else. But it was so scary to leave. But then I made room for so much more, and you can't even compare the difference in stress level or the difference in happiness level between the two.
Yeah, And it's definitely a challenge to make those changes.
Not easy.
You don't have to leave your career, but maybe you try to do something different. Maybe you
Right.
ask for a different position, or maybe you ask for a raise, or do something that you're not used to. But I think the same, like so many people go through the same job day after day and like don't consider doing anything different.
Mm-hmm. Well, I never really did either because you go in my case, and there might be some people a lot like this too. Is that you after high school you went to university or college to do that one job, right? And so in my mind I was in it for the long haul, but then I realized that from the time that I started to where I was 10 years later, it wasn't the same for me. It wasn't giving me the same amount of happiness or joy or satisfaction. So that's why I decided, well, I need to change it up.
Mm-hmm. Darcy was talking about Hawaii here.
Woo! Hawaii was like that. No rush. If you used the horn of your car there, you were labeled a dumb tourist. Because I was told by many car or cab drivers that no one uses the horn is viewed as rude or disrespectful. I would say it's kind of like that in New Brunswick. Nobody honks their horn at anybody.
New Brunswick.
It is kind like, you know what? Like, I'm not a huge horn honker myself, but I didn't grow up in the city either. But here in the city we live in, people honk, but I'm always like, give them a moment. Like, as soon as that light goes green, it's like, if you don't step on the gas. I'm like, how about you give them a second? And Drew's like, okay, Dorothy, relax. Like, mind your business.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think, like, I think, like, if you, like, sometimes it's, like, incredibly obnoxious. Like, New York, clearly the worst place I've ever been with the horn situation. Like, people will obnoxiously just, like, hold the horn for, like, and we've watched, there's, like, someone in front of them and someone in front of the next person, and, like, no
Where
one,
do you think you're going?
like, no one can move anywhere, but there's just some, like, that's not
Culture. It's just their culture.
But it's like so obnoxious because the horns just go and go, and like, and then I can understand like some honking, but this person is just like, and I'm like, what are they trying to accomplish? Like, what are they getting out of that? Because no one can do anything or go anywhere. So that's a bit bizarre to me. But I'm not against honking horns. I think you can use horns in different ways. Like, some people are not paying attention, so if you like honk the horn, if you're like, it's like I'm a beeper, so I don't have a problem with like beeping the horn. Like, I'll be like beep beep, and Dorothy's like, what are you doing? And I'm not like mad or angry. They're like, it doesn't anger me when people text or on their phones, but if
He honks at people that text or on their, like,
if I'm driving by someone and I glance over and they're on their phone, I'll honk.
He's
As
like,
I drive by, I'm like,
beep.
and I'm hoping that they'll be like, oh, maybe I should put my phone down.
But I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I don't think they do. I think they're like, what's wrong with that guy? What's he honking at? But that's one of Drew's big pet peeves.
Let me read a couple of these here. I'm not done with my honking conversation, though. Michelle says, I'm on my way to a 3-day social media course. Way out of my comfort zone. Awesome, Michelle.
Ooh, that's awesome.
100% love and can relate to this in my own life this year. Oh, she's talking about your... Sorry.
Oh, the change.
The
in
changes.
careers, yeah.
Fran says, sometimes you have to. Honk, I'm guessing.
I
Fran's
agree.
from the East Coast, so definitely some mixed perspectives going on here. But I'm with a honking. 1 second. Not obnoxiously, though. John says, horn honkers run rampant in Italy. It's disrespectful if you don't honk.
Oh!
John says, I'm a tutor.
I like that! I like the little toot-toot. I like that, but I don't think you're a tutor.
I'm a tutor.
I don't think so.
A toot. A toot.
Toot-toot.
Okay.
I guess my toot-toot is a lot.
Dorothy
different.
doesn't hit her horn, ever.
Ever.
That's
Drew
the
has
thing.
to hit it for me sometimes. If I'm driving, sometimes you're like,
Oh, sometimes people are like, need to be like moved out of the way. But I'm not, it's not like every day or like weekly. It's like once a month I
Yeah.
might like hit the horn. Or if someone's texting on their phone, I'll do that more often. I try to let them know I disapprove. But if it's like someone, like I'm not like, an enraged, like, I don't want to come across as someone like an enraged like driver that like honks at everyone. Like, I feel like if someone's like not paying attention, or if they're like looking down and it's a green light, I might like, and they're waiting, I might give them like a little
toot,
little push, a little encouragement.
Because you're a tutor.
I'm giving them some encouragement.
It's
positive encouragement. But some people won't even touch their horn because they think it's like so disrespectful. Like, how could I touch my horn? And like, it's there for a reason. Like when I ride my motorcycle, I hit my horn on a regular basis because people are like people cut you off all the time. So if I don't hit my horn once in a while to let people know I'm coming.
What does your motorcycle horn sound like?
It's really tiny. It's like.
I don't know if I ever heard it before.
It's not very loud, but you have to use it for defensive purposes. So I think that sometimes you can use your horn for a positive manner. But like, I remember like I told my brother to hit the horn one time. He's like, "No, why would you do that?" Or like Dorothy, if I hit the horn, Dorothy's like so embarrassed. She's like, "Oh my gosh, he hit the horn again." I'm not doing anything. Like, not like I'm flipping them off or like swearing at them, or I don't like cut them off. Like some people like get mad and like cut people off. Like, hey, how do you like that? Almost killed you. Like, all I do is like tap on the horn and then carry on with my day.
There are some pretty aggressive drivers. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna pick on LA drivers for a minute, but I don't know if it's because there is like a ton of more people in this city or what, but there is some horrible driving.
Horrible drivers.
Like to the point where I don't even want to drive, or I don't drive, I should say. Because I just don't want to be, I don't know, in a situation that
it's
puts
crazy.
me beside a bad driver.
Darcy says positive reinforcement. Oh, that's right.
Right,
Sometimes you need to positively influence someone's life. How's that for positivity? What? No, but it's true. Like, I haven't realized it much in the past, but we haven't driven as much here either.
Yes.
And like drivers around here, like, it's crazy. Like, so pedestrian wise.
You have to be very careful.
Pedestrian-wise, I think it takes it a level up because everyone is like looking at their phone or like in a hurry because they want to miss traffic. Like they're only concerned about themselves. When they get behind the wheel, nothing else matters but them. So they're always in a hurry. Like we're almost hit 2 or 3 times in a crosswalk, and just because they didn't care to look, weren't paying attention. And then when you get behind the wheel, it's like you can't signal here. Like if you signal here to get in, people will speed up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just bizarre how like there's so like you get behind a car and there's so little consideration for anyone else.
We never go like downtown LA hardly, except if we're going to a Dodger game, right? So a few weeks ago we went to a Dodger game, so we parked at the train station downtown and we missed our lane. We were in the wrong lane. We had to make a right turn, and I was like, "Drew, just put your ticket on." Just put your ticket on and they'll let you in,
right? Doesn't work like that here. She's like, "Oh, just," and like you have to.
He's like, "I can't put my ticket on because then they'll cut me off."
Yeah, they'll speed up. It's true. It's not an exaggeration. And you have to be a bit more aggressive. Like you have to like get in there if you want to get somewhere because no one's going to be like, "Oh yes, please."
Go in front of me.
Let's have another million people in front of me.
Whereas if we compare it to New Brunswick driving. At a four-way stop, they're like not arguing, but they're like having a discussion with each other. Who's gonna go? You go. Oh no, you go. Oh no, you go. I think you should go. No, you were here first. You go.
And then they get out, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in 20 years. How you doing?" And then they're like,
that's exaggerating.
Then they're having a conversation in the middle of the street. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's very different.
It's so different.
It's like that in Olds too, though. Or like sometimes, like here, you have to like run out of the way of like cars. Like if you're crossing the street, the cars will not slow down for you. Like if you're not crossing in a crosswalk, we've had like I've been coming down here for years. I can count on one hand how many times a car like slows down and lets you
go. It's like a surprise. Oh.
Yeah. So you have to like run to get out of the way, and then in like Olds or like New Brunswick, for example, if you're like you're kind of planning on going like behind the car, like the car's coming, and you're planning on like, oh, I'll just like slowly walk behind them and let them pass. They'll like stop, and then they're like, come on, go ahead. I'm like, well, I wasn't ready to cross yet. I actually wanted to cross down here. I was walking this way, and then they're like, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Cross. We got Darcy's laughing at us over here. John says that's a recipe for disaster. Darcy says, forget LA. That's Calgary or Vancouver, like a NASCAR race. I don't know, Darcy. Have you driven down here? Like, I grew up in Calgary, and we drive to Calgary often. It's not even close to what people are like here. John says that's funny, the four-way stop.
Yeah.
It's true. It happens. And then we got Fran over here. She says, New York tailgating, no signals, left-hand turns from the right-hand lane.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. We were talking to Greg about that, Fran, and Greg said that the driving here is worse than New York. I won't drive in New York.
No.
No thanks. Like New York City. No.
Manhattan. Right? Is that what you mean?
Well, anywhere in New York City.
Okay.
Different boroughs.
Yeah, but we've only ever been to Manhattan.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
Okay, so I won't.
That's only our experience.
So I wouldn't drive there without question. I would drive in like Connecticut or like the outskirts where we've been, but like in the city, no thanks. I would stop and park and then like walk around or take a bus or bicycle. Actually, I don't know if I'd bike there.
I don't know.
I wouldn't bike on the road there. I would like
You'd
bike.
get doored.
I would bike like on the sidewalk. And people are like, no biking on the sidewalk. You bike on the road.
They do have bike lanes, but right? I'm pretty sure there was bike lanes in New York.
Do they have bike lanes
I
in New York?
can't remember now, but still, I don't know. Scary.
Yeah, it's madness. It's in the middle of the city.
I don't like to drive my bike on the road here in LA, and like we're in a smaller city, like we're not right downtown LA, but it's still scary for me, even though it's really biker friendly here, like cyclist friendly. People but I still don't want to.
Well, I've seen 2 ambulances pull over around here, like help, like picking up or like attending to bikers, like on bike paths. And we see it too. Like here, it's tough because there's a bike path, that leads into what we call a strand, which we ride just about every day, and there's turns to go across that bike path, and I'd say it's almost hidden.
Yeah, the bike path.
Yeah. So it's like it's beautiful. It's like a really nice bike path, but it's almost hidden because there's like a barrier, and tourists, like this is a tourist area, so they don't realize it's there. So tourists often like almost hit bikers or runners all the time because they don't know it's there, so they're turning left or right, I guess, and they don't have any consideration. They're not looking for the biker or runner.
But I don't know, I struggle because there's. Maybe they're not reading the signs, but there's signs everywhere. That's like, watch out for pedestrians, cyclists.
Yeah. But they don't look. I mean, I don't think they care to look. Like, there's like, that's what I said when I feel like there's a lot of, everyone like gets behind the wheel here and they're like just selfish. Like, they don't care. Like, can't get stuck in traffic. I gotta be somewhere. I don't want to be late. And then they just don't read signs. We, like, right in front of our place here, like, we're looking out on the street and there's a crosswalk there, and people just about get hit there once a week, at least once a week. And there's signs there. There's signs that say no left turn or
but because
watch
you
for
would
pedestrians.
It's not a one way, but you can't make a left turn. So if you want to go left, you have to go out the block and make a U-turn, because U-turns you can do here. And people are like, I don't have time for a U-turn, so they just make a left turn when it's not safe to make a left turn there.
Right. Fran says they have bike lanes which are basically empty.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to ride my bike in their bike lanes either. You want to read this?
John says, one time I was driving in Mexico and I saw a little old lady and her granddaughter trying to cross the road, so I slowed down and stopped for them. I almost caused a big accident because everyone behind me wasn't used to it. Lesson learned in foreign places, just keep moving.
Yeah, I think that could be like I think that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, if like that's not their culture, I wouldn't run someone over, obviously. But if that's not their culture, you might cause more issues, like trying to be helpful.
Right. Mm.
Thanks, John, for sharing.
Darcy says, one time I had my friend in passenger seat checking for me to see if there was room to make the lane change. Clear. Go, 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 go.
Where was that, Darcy? In Calgary. Sometimes I do that to Dorothy. Almost called you Darcy.
Darcy?
Sometimes I ask Dorothy, like, can you look over there to see if I can go? And she's like, doo, doo, doo.
I'm looking!
No, you're not.
There's one more. I almost did that in Montreal. I learned the hard way that turning right on a red light is illegal.
In Montreal.
I didn't know that.
In Montreal, everywhere? Yeah. In some places, it's like that for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And Fran says, driving in Manhattan is kind of fun, though. It's usually rather slow moving. I don't know. What's the fun part of that? Don't know. Maybe just looking at the buildings and such. Yeah, Manhattan is a mess. I would not want to drive it. Once took me about 10 minutes to make a right-hand turn at Broadway after seeing a show due to pedestrian traffic. She's laughing.
I like how you can embrace that.
Well, yeah, I guess it's if you're maybe if you guys live close to like a half hour, 40-minute train ride or drive.
I'm not sure.
To New York City, so maybe it's a bit different than like tourists.
Yeah.
Like we go and visit once a year for a week, so that's not really much lifestyle going on there. I would like to go to New York City and live for like a month, though, just to see what it's like.
To live there longer.
Yeah. Yes, quite an experience.
Might have to eat noodles for a month.
I don't know. We'd have to
To
like.
afford rent in New York.
We'd have to live on the streets. Oh, would you like to live in New York for a month?
Who's renting out a closet?
I don't think we could afford a closet.
Might be able to afford a closet.
I don't think so. I don't think you could afford a closet there. I think we'd have to live in like. Can you live in Central Park? I don't think so. Can you?
No,
tent?
I don't think you can tent in Central Park. I think there's rules against that.
Is there any campsites around New York City? Yeah, New York is so expensive. It's madness. It's more expensive than here, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about it with Greg. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share about what you're doing new?
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to share anything that they were doing new?
The only thing that you don't have to be minimalistic on is your essential oils.
That's a lie.
You can have as many essential oils in your life as you want.
That's a lie. I'm against that.
Drew
Anyway.
is not happy with the amount of essential oils I have.
It's too many. There's too many
But
oils.
they're little bottles.
There are too many oils. There's oils in every house. Like
There's not
there's
enough.
oils everywhere. Everywhere I look right now, I can see oils. Oils.
This is not an oil.
What's behind it?
Oh, there's an oil behind it! He even sees it when I hide them.
I see them everywhere. At any rate, we should wrap things up. We do have Complete Truth Protein if you guys are interested. This is our plant-based protein supplement. You can throw it in smoothies. You can bake with it. This is a raw product, so once you have it, it needs to be stored in the fridge. It helps with a natural boost of energy, and it also helps with digestion. So we're coming out with a brand new flavor. That's something
we're going to work on that today.
So that's something we're super excited about because we're talking about doing new things. So we want to do something new and exciting with CTP because it's been a while since we did anything new. We're also going to be rebranding, so you can have a look at that coming soon.
Mm-hmm. And we also have our TriMag. John, did you get his TriMag?
Yeah, John, how's the TriMag going?
Yeah.
And Darcy is Darcy's treating it like gold, and he's not going to open it. Darcy, that's going to expire if you don't open it in like 6 years.
Like 6 years! So we've got our TriMag as well. We'd love to hook you up with some if you haven't already tried it out. We've got some for you. So this is going to help with muscle recovery, with your sleep, help improve your sleep. And there's so many benefits. We've had so many great responses and feedback coming in about our TriMag supplements. So it'll help improve your mood, improve your sleep. If you have some digestion problems, it's going to help with digestion. So we are just in love with help with our TriMeg. No, honestly, we're just happy that we are able to help people out and improve their health.
In different ways.
Yeah.
Dorothy says I'll do it soon here. Darcy, you've been saying that for weeks. How long have you had it for?
The TriMeg.
Yeah, I'll do it soon. I'm just playing. You can do it whenever you want. It's all good. I'm just giving you a hard time. You can use it next year if you like.
Oh, John told us how you can use it next year. Day 9 using TriMeg. I've noticed my energy levels have spiked. The mojito flavor tasted great.
Awesome, John.
Yay!
Thanks so much. John's been listening to Exploring Mind and Body. That's our radio show and podcast. So if you go to any radio or any podcasting platform, search for Exploring Mind and Body. And we've got all kinds of awesome guests in the past and coming up this month as well. And then we have a brand new podcast coming out called Transformations Through Running.
Yay!
Super pumped. And it's coming out very soon. So we already have some new interviews that are already recorded, and then we'll be releasing them. I think the launch date is going to be at the end of next week, but I have a few details that I need to clear up before I can officially
Release a date.
So hopefully you're excited about that. I'm really hoping to get in new and noteworthy, but I can't do that without your help. So hopefully when the time comes, I can rely on you guys to just leave a couple comments. Some very simple things, but we need a big group of people to help out. So
some people might not know what new and noteworthy is.
That's a good point. New and noteworthy is when new podcasts come out on iTunes. iTunes is like the biggest platform that people listen to podcasts. You can listen to many different platforms. There's like Stitcher and SoundCloud and Blurberry and BeanPod. It's endless. So,
but iTunes would be the most used and recognized
by far. So they actually have different seasons for Apple iTunes now. So we're going to do 10 interviews. Season 1 is going to be 10 interviews. Then I'm going to take a short break just to get feedback, see how people are enjoying the show, see if people are appreciating the show and want to do more. It's not just for runners. The guests I'm bringing on are runners, and we're launching it with a specific running group here locally. But the transformation stories are amazing, and they're so inspiring. And every one of them I've done have given me chills and have been like partially like emotional. And I can't wait to share that with the world. So if you go when the show is launched, if you go to iTunes and you subscribe, if you subscribe to the channel and you leave a review and you listen to some of the shows, those are the best ways. So if we get enough people doing that in the first couple weeks that we launch the show, then we have the opportunity to be in New and Noteworthy, which basically features our show out of hundreds of thousands in the world. Mm-hmm. So I'm really hoping we can do that. I don't know what the chances are, but I know every one of your votes will make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will be a challenge, but with the more support, it will help us. The more support we have, the better chances we have.
Yeah. So we'll let you know as we get closer. I'm going to be posting more stuff because it's an exciting time. Mm-hmm. And this is what we've been talking about on the show here.
Yeah.
Like doing new things and finding new excitement. And like this is the last push here, the end of this week. I have 2 interviews today. And then this weekend I have to clear a few things up. And then I'm hoping to launch at the end of next week. So it's like, it's here. It's coming. So thank you guys so much for your support.
Yeah, and then you can stop talking about it all the time.
Ha 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 ha.
It's gonna be good.
We got a couple. We'll just read these before we go.
I promise. Video coming soon.
All right, Darcy. A month. I'll try to finish it after the bills. All right, Darcy. And then just real quick, we have our monthly membership group. Vince was in here earlier. We have a very supportive online group. We do meal plans, recipes, grocery shopping lists, at-home workouts. Then we offer 24/7 support. Mm-hmm. Dorothy and I are in there every single day. And then we offer discounts on our products if you're in that group. It's a great deal. I was looking at it yesterday. We have to send someone a meal plan today.
Okay.
Someone ordered a meal plan, and it was, we charged $50 for a month meal plan, which is super cheap. I think most charge like $250. But our membership is only $99. So I was like, and you have all your workouts planned, you have all your meals scheduled, all your recipes, and then you have group support for $100. Like, I don't know. I was trying to like do the math and break it down. And I'm like, that's so cheap. Mm-hmm. But anyway, if you broke it up, like when we were doing personal training, I would do one session for $50. So one session a week, that's $200 just for personal training.
One a week.
Yeah, one a week, and that's no support and no meal planning. Or if you're looking to do like a month of meal plans, like it would cost you if you go to see a nutrition. Like we've been doing this for years, but if you go to see a nutritionist, it's going to cost you a couple $100 to have a consultation and to have meetings and to have meal plans made for you. But we got everything in nice packages that Dorothy puts together each week, and we just send them out. All you have to do is follow along.
Mm-hmm. And they're super easy to follow along. There's instructions and directions, recipes, grocery shopping list. We even put a week at a glance in there, so they're very detailed.
All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we'll catch you online later on in the week.
Yes, bye, guys.
See ya.